So now we're going to talk about an interesting concept called "Are you in the box?" Right? So this is relevant in all of the four markets in marketing, the four areas, right? Business to consumer, business to business, business to government, and nonprofit, but it's most important in B2B, right? And we're going to talk about what it is and why it's important, right? So are you in the box, right? What does in the box mean? Well, other descriptions for in the box, you could say is, are you in the considered set? That's a favorite of a good friend of mine, a B2B marketing expert in Australia, Hugh Macfarlane from Align.me. Are you in the considered set, right? I like to look at, are you on the short list? That's another way to say, are you in the box, right? What it really means is, are you in the considered set, the short list, the list of it's typically 2 to 3 vendors to be evaluated, right? And when I say that, I mean to be evaluated in detail, right? Because in B2B, in business to business marketing, right? People make decisions in a team for their company. They're very risk averse. And they want to be able to do some CYA, right? They want to make a good decision that's defendable. So they ultimately want to do research on all the ways to solve the business problem that they have, because that's how B2B buyers buy, is when they have a problem. Then they want to get it down to a short list, a considered set, some vendors that are in this box of, wow, these are the ones we should evaluate. And then they're going to evaluate those 2 or 3 vendors in really good detail. They'll have good documentation on it, and then they're going to choose one of them. Okay? So why is this important? Why is this concept important? Well, the answer is because if this is the way that they buy, and it is, B2B buyers, this is what they do, then as a marketer, what you have to understand is your goal is not necessarily to put your product, to put your company in there as you are the best, the fastest, the tallest, the smartest, the cheapest, etc. That's not really your goal, talking about how you are individually better than everyone else, especially if you're not the #1 brand, if you're not the most well-known brand. Because ultimately, your goal is to get in the box, to get on that short list. That's really the main thing you need to do. At that point, then marketing isn't going to be as relevant, right? Once they get down, since their journey is going to involve them doing research, getting down to a short list, and then doing a lot of detailed evaluation of 2 to 3 vendors, right? That's going to involve your product or service actually being better, right? That's going to involve probably testing, trying it out in some way, right? So and that's going to involve some good salesmanship if you have a sales force. That's going to involve that. That's really less about marketing. Marketing's job is to get you in the box, right? To get you in that considered set on the short list, one of those 2 to 3 vendors. So if your goal is really to get in the box, what you want to do is do things that are going to most efficiently get you there. So if you're an unknown, if you're a challenger, you might want to consider, okay, I want to look a lot like the leader. Right? Who is the leader in this? Who's already in the box, right? How do you know who's in the box? Well, one way to look at it is, if you're a certain kind of product, like a technology product, software or whatnot, you might have heard of something called the Gartner Magic Quadrant. Okay, this is where an industry analyst firm, companies pay them huge amounts of money, millions a year. They evaluate certain types of products and they plot them. They plot them on their magic quadrant, right? And what's important is this. This is the leaders quadrant, right? You always want to be upper right with them. If you're down here, then you're a visionary. That's okay to be here, maybe, especially if you're new. But really, this is where you want to be. You want to be a leader, right? If you're the leader, if you're the most upper right, that means you're likely already in the box, okay? If you're a new guy and you're getting in, then how do you also get in there? How do you get on that short list? How do you get in the box? Well, one way to consider doing that is find out what the leader's doing. What is the leader talking about? How does the leader position their product? Where does the leader go? Where do they hang out? What trade shows do they go to? What magazines do they advertise in? Do they write in, right? You might want to consider looking like, acting like, doing everything like the leader. So you're seen as, oh, okay, I don't know them, but I know I need to evaluate at least 2 or 3 to do due diligence. So there's the leader, and then these guys I haven't heard of, but they have something interesting. Maybe they're down here, but they seem to be a lot like these guys, so we'll add them here too, right? So you get your leader, and then you can maybe get yourself in the box as well. Because people think in categories, right? And if you're not in this list of 2 to 3 vendors, you really have no chance, right? So why is this important? Well, I see a lot of companies making what I believe is a big mistake, and that is relatively new companies or even well-known companies getting into new sectors is they start with, here's why we're different, here's why we're better, right? Here's why we're faster, taller, etc. And they spend a lot of time and effort talking about how different they are, how unique they are. But if you're not already in the box, then that could just make you more irrelevant to the person that has the problem. Because if they have the particular problem and they see what the category is for solving that problem, they're going to look for a short list to evaluate. And the more you talk about how unique you are, the less you're going to be relevant to them, right? You're not even going to be considered to be in the category. Because it doesn't matter what buyers think about you if they don't think about you at all, okay? So that's an idea to think about when you're talking about B2B is, are you in the box today, right? You can do awareness and credibility studies to do that. You could do Net Promoter Score if that works for your agency, for your industry. If there's a magic quadrant or something like that where they plot who the leaders are, find out if you're in the box. If you're already in the box, then go ahead. Talk about how you're different, faster, smarter, whatever. Go ahead if you're already in there. But if you're not, then really your goal as a marketer is to get in the box. That's it for now, and we'll see you again soon.